private company with under 20 employees is trying to build rockets, and the world is going crazy for Musk. He spent 15 years investing all his wealth into this, and when he built the first rocket, it exploded. Do you know the cost of that explosion? The rocket's manufacturing cost was nearly $800 million. The second rocket exploded too, costing $1 billion. People jokingly called SpaceX a fireworks company, saying it was an expensive show. On the brink of bankruptcy, he sold his yacht, mansion, cars, everything. He was all in saying, I'm going to launch the third rocket. After selling everything, he told all the company executives. The second rocket exploded, costing $1 billion. SpaceX was jokingly called a fireworks company. Near bankruptcy, he sold everything. Yacht, mansion, cars. Committed, he aimed to launch a third rocket. He told executives, I can't pay salaries, but for humanity's future, I'm willing to go bankrupt, share my mission. Facing bankruptcy, he decided to sell everything. He committed, I'm launching the third rocket. He told the company executives, I can't pay salaries, but for changing humanity, I'm willing to go bankrupt. Share this mission. SpaceX team sold their assets, and the third launch happened. I can't pay salaries, but to change humanity and find a second home, I'm ready to go bankrupt. You shouldn't be asking for salaries. Share my mission and vision for humanity. Sell your houses and cars too. All SpaceX executives, engineers, and technicians sold their houses and cars. The third rocket launch happened, watched by the world. If they failed, it was the end. But this time, take a risk. Sell your houses and cars too. All the executives, engineers, and technicians at SpaceX didn't hesitate. They sold their houses and cars, and then the third rocket launch happened with everyone around the world watching. If he lost this time, it would indeed be a complete failure for him. And then the rocket goes up. His technology surpasses NASA. So far, the entire Russian government and the entire US government have to rely on SpaceX for space transportation and supplies. Musk has once again led humanity into the aerospace era. Do you know what that means? It's like in the three-body problem. Imagine if aliens attacked Earth and we lacked a starship for defense. With current technology, we couldn't escape or fight back. But Musk is working on controlled nuclear fusion and warp drive technology to create starship-level spacecraft that travel at light speed. He's focused on ensuring human civilization's future. After his success, his space company profited and supplied NASA with fuel. Someone then told him, you're interested in new energy, right? I have an electric car company aiming to replace fuel cars for a greener planet. We need electric cars, and the company's name is... He's thinking every day about how to invent a starship capable of traveling at the speed of light, you know? How can human civilization continue to develop and thrive? After he made his fortune, his space company started turning a profit and he could supply fuel to NASA. At that point, someone told him, aren't you always interested in new energy? I have an electric car company that aims to make fuel-powered cars a thing of the past. Only when we stop using fuel cars can our planet have a chance at being environmentally friendly. We need to make electric cars, and the name of this company is... It's called Tesla. He didn't say anything else, just hearing the name Tesla made him want to invest any amount of money. Do you know why? Because Tesla is his second idol. Who is Tesla? Nikola Tesla. Look him up. He was an inventor on par with Edison. And in many ways, he was even greater. All the alternating current we use today, all the radio technology, and all the electrical patents we rely on today are thanks to him. Everything is in the hands of Nikola Tesla. Nikola Tesla invented 2,579 patents. The Morgan family offered him royalties. However, he chose to destroy 2,500 patents, stating they were a gift to humanity, not for profit. Tesla lived in poverty and eventually died of starvation. The military seized all his belongings for study. Tesla was a genius. Modern technology, radio, mobile phones, the internet, electricity originates from him. The company faced financial struggles. For 150 years, companies failed at electric cars due to battery range, explosions, and costs. Tying 6,000 batteries can cause explosions. This guy is extraordinary. Musk is a huge fan. He invested in Tesla, but it kept losing money, nearly bankrupting it. Why? For 150 years, companies failed at electric cars due to battery range, explosion risks, and costs. Tying 6,000 batteries can explode in accidents, more dangerous than fuel cars. No one cracked this. Musk asked engineers, why are batteries so expensive? A single battery costs at least $800. It brought him to the brink of bankruptcy. Why was he losing so much money? Because for the past 150 years, every company has tried to make electric cars, but none have succeeded. They couldn't solve the problems of battery range, the risk of battery packs exploding, or the cost of batteries. If I'm going to drive an electric car, it has to be low power, cost effective, and safe. But today, if I tie together 6,000 batteries, they can easily explode, you know? In an accident, they can blow up instantly, making them even more dangerous than fuel cars, and the costs are just too high. So no one has been able to crack this problem. You know what? At this point, Musk called all the engineers together and asked, why are batteries so expensive? He said a single battery costs at least $800. And we've checked with all the battery manufacturers around the world, and that's the price everywhere. This is the thinking of an ordinary person. The boss tells me to lower the price, so I go around asking all the battery manufacturers in the world, and after asking, I find out they all say it's $800 and can't go lower. But then you look at Musk. Musk asks, what materials are in this battery? Let's take this battery apart and have a chemist analyze it. Let's look into the costs of iron, earth, tin, carbon, and after researching, he finds out that the raw materials for this battery only cost $80. Since the raw materials for this battery only cost $80, why are you selling it to me for $800? I want it for $80. We can make the batteries ourselves for that price. This is the thinking of first principles, because Musk knows that as long as we're relying on fuel cars, one day the Earth's energy will run out. Oil and natural gas will eventually run out as they are non-renewable resources. This will lead to an energy blackout on Earth. With fuel cars, the temperature is rising daily, contributing to global warming. That's why Tesla is important. Car exhaust is a major cause. The Earth's temperature and sea levels are rising, threatening coastal areas. I want to help save energy by creating Tesla. As traditional companies failed to make electric cars, Musk risked everything and succeeded. After making money, he shared his electric car patents for free, enabling companies like Li Auto, BYD, and XPeng to thrive. A reporter once interviewed him and asked, "The Earth's temperature is rising, sea levels are continuing to rise, and coastal areas could be flooded. That's why I want to help humanity save energy. I want to create Tesla." Because for hundreds of years, companies like Ford and others couldn't make electric cars, but Musk, after risking everything 3 times, finally made it work. They profited. His first action was he made his car patents free, open to all companies. In China, Li Auto, BYD, XPeng exist due to his patents. After 3 bankruptcies, a reporter asked him, after near bankruptcy, you launched Tesla and made patents public. Are you crazy? Why? He said, I want to help humanity, reduce energy use and emissions for a better Earth. Ordinary people may not understand your ambitions. Almost went bankrupt 3 times. Hello, Raymar, Tesla has succeeded and you made your patent public. Are you crazy? Are you aiming too high? I just want to benefit humanity and help reduce energy consumption and emissions. Only by doing this can the Earth become a better place. So I want to tell everyone here that ordinary people may not understand you. They can't grasp the lofty ambitions you have. But let me ask you, do we need the understanding of ordinary people? If ordinary people understood me, how ordinary would I be? Is this right? Let me tell you about the latest news from 2024. Musk has a company that invented a chatbot called TrackGPT. How amazing is TrackGPT? Today, if you chat with TrackGPT, you can ask it any question and it can answer you. I even went to Singapore specifically for this, and I chatted with TrackGPT for nearly 2 days about how to achieve enlightenment. What is enlightenment? How do you become a Buddha? How do you practice? Do you know all of this? You can ask about skincare or any question and it will answer you. It can even learn by itself. You can ask it anything and it engages in self-dialogue and self-learning, just like AlphaGo, that robot that plays Go. CheckGPT can write papers that pass and even win court cases. It's used for medical advice and more. This is the future. If you can't grasp this, the next 20 years aren't for you. Tesla factories can produce cars without anyone on the assembly line. All students in America are now using CheckGPT to write their papers, and it passes every time. There's a lawyer in the US who used CheckGPT in court, and every statement he made was generated by CheckGPT, and he won the case. Then there's a doctor in the US who used CheckGPT for medical advice and found that it was even more skilled than he was. Isn't that scary? This isn't. This is the era of the future. Some people say, teacher, I don't understand what you're talking about. If you can't even grasp what I'm saying, then the next 20 years have nothing to do with you. Let's take a look at the Tesla factory in the US and experience it for ourselves. Right now, a Tesla factory costing hundreds of thousands of dollars can produce cars without needing a single person on the assembly line. Do you know what the education of the workers is? The minimum is a PhD, and most of them are postdoctoral researchers. If you don't keep learning and growing, you won't even realize how society will eliminate you. Foxconn has already announced its official withdrawal from China this year, and in the future, factories won't need many workers at all. Huawei's tech lets 2 workers make a phone every 5 seconds. In places like Japan and the US, business stagnates due to big company control, limiting young people's options. China, the second largest economy, is nearing developed status, risking similar class issues. The next 20 years are key for upward mobility. Seize this chance for future wealth as opportunities shrink. Because they are developed countries, every industry is already controlled by conglomerates. In other words, young people have limited options. It's a one-way street, just working for someone else, leading to a rigid class structure where it's hard for the underprivileged to rise. I want to tell you that China is now the second largest economy in the world, and we are actually on the verge of becoming a developed country. If one day China truly transitions from a developing country to a developed one, we will also experience class stratification. The next 20 years, China is bound to become the world's strongest nation and enter the ranks of developed countries. In other words, the next 20 years are the only time for your entire family to achieve upward mobility. If you seize this opportunity, your descendants, 3 generations or even 5 generations, we'll be wealthy. If you miss this chance, there won't be many opportunities left for your family in the next 3 to 5 generations. I'm not joking with you. The reason we had so many opportunities before was that China had just been established and had just opened up for reform, and there were opportunities everywhere. But we are entering developed countries